Good morning. Welcome back to Crescent Wrench Studio. So today I'm going to be showing you a new piece of software that I've been working on called Flow State. Flow State is all about getting you into your flow without having to spend a lot of time doing the tedium of project management, making tickets, tracking things, moving things around. I really like talking out loud about my day and kind of planning and figuring out what I'm doing. And now that I have an AI assistant that's actually listening to me, it's not just for my own benefit conceptually, it's for my own benefit actionably. So all the things that I talk out loud about to kind of figure out what it is I'm working on, how I can go about solving different problems, that gets captured by a voice assistant and then processed by a few cool integrations I've made using Cursor and Notion and GPT to be able to take all of my stream of consciousness notes about what it is I'm trying to get done today, this week. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I should come back to that later. And then have the voice assistant be able to capture all of that and then turn it into actionable to-do items and daily notes so that I can easily go back through and see my own journey of getting to places and stop losing these little bits of insight that I have in the morning with my cup of coffee or while I'm cleaning up my studio, walking the dog, doing the dishes, all those things that you do every day that are just kind of a tedium, not a bad thing. I enjoy all those things. They're nice. They get your hands going and your mind active. But I always felt like I was losing a lot of insights during that time. And if I could just figure out a way to harness my brain's free thinking of having my hands doing something automatic, something mindless, it gave my brain that free space. So flow state is all about using those easy, physically repetitive, simple task times to let you set up the rest of your day to be super, super on point and get done the thing that you need to get done that day, not just whatever happens to float into your mind at that time. So why am I down in my wood shop showing you a piece of software? So we're going to start with the beginning of the workflow. So I'm going to demonstrate kind of how this workflow works from the beginning of me just down here cleaning up my shop. We'll do a little bit of a voice memo recording, and then I'll take you upstairs to the office and show you how the rest of the workflow works so that it becomes actionable items and not just a cool idea you had while you were sorting screws. Let's get it done. All right, so the beginning of the workflow. You all have this ability in your phone. It's not a paid feature. It's not some crazy new AI thing that some talking head was talking about this week. It's just a voice recorder. So I like using the voice memo app on my iPhone because it's built in. It's really robust. It is hard to interrupt and break. And my main pain point with any of the systems I've tried is losing my notes. I want the voice memo to have all of my stream of consciousness notes, not just some of them. So the way that this works is you get out your phone and then you launch the voice memo app and start talking. So I'm going to get that process going. All right, so the voice memo is running in my pocket and I'm ready to get going. So the way I usually start this is I'll say the date. Today is November 4th, let's say. I don't know what today's date is. I usually look at my phone to do it. So today, November 4th, just working through some of the to-dos I've got. The flow state demo video, we're going to make that due today as well because I really want to get this done. Cool. I think that is my kind of top working stuff that I'm trying to get done. Okay, we're back. So I'm sitting at my workstation now, and we are going to get started with processing this stuff. So we're going to download Cursor, which is a AI code editor. And you can just go to cursor.com/download to get that downloaded. I already have Cursor downloaded, surprise, surprise. So I do not need to download this, but based on your system, you can go ahead and get it downloaded. Check out their pricing, their business model, whatever you want. I do pay for a Pro account because I am a professional software engineer. And I think the free model is going to be enough for this if you're just using FlowState with it. So next thing you need to do is go download FlowState. So you can go to github.com/hcwiley-flwst, because this is some trendy software. So there's no room for vowels. So FlowState, AI workflow to get your mind in order so you flow through your day. Neat. What does it do? FlowState is a grouping of prompts, how-tos, and scripts to go from thinking to process management to execution without you having to do a lot of the time-consuming PM work, making tickets, updating statuses, etc. So you can read the rest of this. You'll need to follow these setup instructions for getting Notion MCP installed and getting Cursor set up and downloaded. And then I'm going to show you on a fresh checkout of this how we go about getting things configured. So I will click back into a new video and we will get going on this. Okay, we are ready to get rolling. So I've got Cursor downloaded. I've got my GitHub repository here. So we're going to open Cursor. I'm going to say clone repository. And then we're going to clone from that URL. Now I'm going to clone this into my GitHub directory. Select. Open. And great. So this is now up and running. I'm going to move this over here. We're just going to get rid of the video. You don't get to look at me anymore. Tough. So I can pull up the README again, and there are some things that we need to configs. So the first thing it says is to copy the config examples into the config directory. So I just copied notion.ts and spelling.ts from the examples, and now they're in the config directly. So you can see this is here. And spelling's here. So the notion.ts is going to tell me some variable names I need to set in my Notion. And then the spelling.ts is just commonly misspelled words. So I found whenever I'm doing the voice transcription, Apple's voice memo app is great at getting the gist of things, but frequently when I'm working for a specific project and I have like names of things that are like branded names, it'll get them wrong a lot. So this is just a way for you to get the AI to fix those commonly misspelled words in your daily workflow. So we have two databases we need to create in Notion. So we have a daily notes and a to-do tasks. So you can change the names of these to whatever you want them to be. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to just use them directly, but I have other ones named that already. So I'm going to say database full page, and this is going to be the FlowState demo daily notes FlowState demo. Great. So we're going to create the new database FlowState demo daily notes, and I'm going to make that there. And then we're going to say that, cool. And then I just need to go back and do database full page. And we're going to make that. So that's all the config that I am needing to do based on the documentation. I see a potential issue here that I did not tell you what properties to make on this Notion database on these two. So we might need to update some things so this works right. I will try this without doing that to see how it goes. But if we need to, I will update this documentation. Yay for demos. All right, so we are going to begin processing our first voice note. So you can see here I've got an inbox that is empty, and it just has this .git keep in it. You don't need to worry about that. That's just a file that tells Git to track this directory, despite the fact that I'm ignoring it. So normally you'll be able to do this, where you can just come in here and say copy transcript, and then we're going to make a new file, transcript.txt. And you can do that copy like I just showed you in voice memo, and then paste, save, and that's that. So the rest of this is very automatic, and we're going to use the built-in commands. So Cursor has this handy AI pane, and so the AI pane allows me to interact with my AI models. So this is using GPT-5. That's what I've been using for this. It's working well. You are welcome to try out Sonnet from Anthropic or Gemini if you would prefer. I've been using GPT-5 and not had any problems, so I'm just kind of sticking with it. And then we've got these cool things called slash commands. So I'm going to run the slash import daily. So my slash import daily is all I have to do, and then I can hit enter. And now my Cursor agent is going to start working on things. It just warned me that I'm about to hit my pay limit for the month, so that's good to know. And now it's just running these tasks. So I built this to have a lot of these commands. They are groomed and considered. So if you want to make changes based on kind of how your usage goes, there are two places that these things exist. The commands you hopefully won't need to change, and then there's the prompts. So if you want to get in here and make some changes to the prompts, like the make daily from transcript, you can change what is what the prompt that it's going to use to generate these various notes. So right here, it is now waiting for me to say yes, because it has found in my inbox transcript.txt. It's got the little kind of beginning of it. So I'm going to say yes. All of these agent commands are interactive. I didn't want it to just go and do all this stuff without checking in with you periodically, because AI slop is a thing. And the goal of this is that things get done well and are useful, not just sloppy crap that doesn't actually make your life more efficient and give you better flow. If you are having to fight the AI to get this basic level of process management done, then you're not going to be flowing. So you will get dings as the Cursor agent needs your input. You can configure Cursor to have notifications where it dings a little bell and it has a Mac notification here. So the next step, as you can see through its to-do list, it's going to generate a draft using the transcript. And then I'm going to get a chance to review that draft before we say, yes, go forward and make my tickets and do all the good stuff. So again, looking over here at the prompt, this is what it is prompting the AI to make my drafted Notion document look like. So it's broken down into kind of telling it what it is. I use these XML tags to break things up into different components so that it's easy for it to see the different sections. And then I do that with XML tags because I'm also using Markdown in here as a way to show it what a Notion page should look like. And it gets really hard to use Markdown as your prompting language and then also have Markdown be the syntax that you want it to follow. So these XML tags, I read about this a while ago, they work really well for helping manage the prompting and getting really discrete things that are always going to be followed. So I've got this example one. I give it a review one so that it always does this thing. So you can get in here and kind of tweak this prompt if you need to, if it's not giving you quite the output that you want. Great. So it's done drafting the results. I've got this temp directory where all of the working stuff ends up. So it says, hey, reply yes to create the Notion page or no to cancel. So let's make sure that it's got the right Notion page. I don't see where it is doing that just yet. It hasn't gotten there. It's just on the drafting. So I'm going to open the preview for this Markdown because it looks a little bit nicer. This table up top is not pretty in here, but it's very helpful once it becomes a Notion thing because it allows you to kind of see all the to-do tasks that will get made in the Notion database when we start working on that. So if I show you kind of these to-do tasks are what this is going to be, and then the daily note, that's what this draft Markdown document, it's going to become a daily note over here. So you will notice in my make daily from transcript, here is the properties that my database, my daily notes database should have. It should have a name, a description, a priority, a status, and tags. Blank. That's my to-dos. So the to-dos should have those properties. I don't have those properties, so I will be curious to see what happens when we get to that stage. But all right, back to the task at hand. We are reviewing the output to make sure that all of the stuff that we talked about with ourselves in our stream of consciousness voice notes gets processed correctly. And this looks pretty good to me. We need the slat holders. I really like acceptance criteria as checkboxes. This makes me happy. Notes. Here's the next item. So we can see it's broken out as a panel, as a table, so you can see everything at a high level. And then this is what's going to be inside of each one of those to-do items once they get made. Yay. See, it's even checked that one off. We've already done that one. We are currently doing this. Notes, recording is underway. We will need to do this. We've already done a little bit of this. I was missing some .get keep files. So this looks great. I'm going to say yes, continue. And now we're going to see if there is a speed bump in the making of the Notion entry. So this is going to be ending up here in the daily notes. If you're doing this for the first time, you're going to get a lot of pokes in this channel in your agent pane because it's going to need approval to do a lot of things. So I've already approved a bunch of the Notion MCP tools to be in the allow list because I don't want to have to click allow every time I run one of these workflows. So You can either allow each time, you can, just click allow now, or you can say use allow list, and it's going to update that so that it runs automatically. So it's running the Notion search right now using Notion MCP tools, and it is using the config.notion.ts to do this. So daily notes bar, see, good. This is what I was hoping to show you. So I do have an MCP tool that I haven't used yet, and I'm going to add this to the allow list because I want it to automatic. So it's running a bunch of Notion MCP calls in the background. MCP is Model Context Protocol. You don't need to know about that. It's cool. You can go watch some how-to videos about it and just start to understand how AIs work with other systems. But all you need to do is allow it to interact with that, and you need to configure your Notion with your cursor instance so that they can do this back and forth. So I've already authenticated my cursor MCP into my Notion MCP tools. I'm not going to cover how to configure that in this. You can register for my AI workflow class when I get that set up, and I will be allocating some time to help people get those things set up in that class. Or you can watch some how-to videos and get it done yourself. And here we go. This is the thing we just made. So you can see this table looks nice in Notion. Here's all the things we just made. And I know from my own experience with my normal daily notes, I'm missing a few things from this daily note database. In mine, I've got a date property and a notes summary property and the tags and a to-do tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and add a date and a notes summary. And tags. I like that to be a tag. What type of property is this? Yeah, good, multi-select. And then the last one is going to be a relation. And I want this to be related to to-do tasks flow state demo. It is a two-way relation. Great. So this is all done. It's very happy. It thinks we're cool. I'm going to say, hold up. I just added more properties to that database. Please update the entry with the new properties I added. So it's going to be able to understand that and say, oh, okay, cool. Let me handle that for you. Well, it does its thing. I'm going to go ahead and add the properties that I know we're going to need over here because I don't want to have to do that again. So I'm going to look at my make daily from transcript, and I can look at the things that are needed. So we've got a due date, a priority, a status, and a description. I'm going to move that to the end. This can go there. I like top. Oh, I should do this the other way. Back burner, low, medium, high. Top priority is a burning red priority. Medium will be green, low will be blue. Great. Status. I've got more statuses on mine, like blocked and in review, etc. But this is fine for now. So when I have it make these to-do tasks, it should be all hunky-dory. Oh, and you are waiting on me. Cool. So I need to allow that. Sweet. So we just got the date. We got the tags. And it's working on the summary right now. A cool thing that I like to do is add multiple views to my Notion databases. So this calendar view is neat. So I can see all the days that I've done this. And we will add some tags and to-do items. And now I can see all the days that I've done my to-dos. And if you link Notion Calendar with your like actual calendar, you can like think, oh, I was talking about that on the day that I, had to go to the doctor. And then you can correlate your time and space understanding to be able to form your own better mental map of your to-dos and action items. Yes. What is notes? Good job. I didn't know it could change properties for me. So yeah, that's notes summary should not be a date. Should it? That's annoying. I don't need the time. Oh man, I love MCP tools. It's really, really handy. So there it is, my notes summary, just really tight notes of my like 5 minutes stream of consciousness note taking. Now is a quick note summary. And that's supposed to be a hyperlink. I'm supposed to be able to click that and follow it. So need to fix that in the prompting. We can keep it all. A nice thing that I did is part of this process is it all gets archived. So I'm not just deleting these things. As you run this more and more, you will get a local archive on your own machine of these markdown files, so that if you ever are worried about losing your precious thoughts and maybe you need this back on your machine to do something else with, this archive is going to have the date and anything that gets created. So that's it. We're done with that. And then I'm going to open a new chat. I'm going to say update tasks. So update tasks is going to be the next piece of this workflow. So update tasks is the second part of this. So we've got the daily notes. These are the grouping of all of these things into tasks that are actionable, but kind of keeping it at one daily note, because I want to be able to think about tasks as having origins and time. When did I think about this task? And if I come back to it and talk about it again, I should be able to reference that task. So as I keep working on things, I can see how many days in a row I was talking and thinking about it. So the to-do items are the things that we're actually going to be working on. And I want to be able to see them in a not started, in progress, done. So this is something that, it's a Kanban board or a Scrum board, kind of depending on how you run your project management. And so this is something that is really easy to manage from a not started in process done. It's the making tickets that are rich, full of context, actionable, useful. All of that takes time. And that's what flow state is doing, is it's running all of this in an agent using MCP tools so that your brain, your actual intelligence, you're the expert at what you do. You can talk and think and let your brain do the problem solving, and then give the minutia, the making of tickets, correlating with existing things. Flow state's handling all of that for you. So the update tasks command is broken down into a few different steps. So I don't know why it's not showing me them. But again, here's the command. You hopefully won't need to ever edit these commands. If you do, bully for you, you're getting really into this. Here's the to-do list that it has based on the command. So it knows that it needs to parse the to-dos. It needs to create temp tasks for everything. And then I'm going to get to approve all of the temp tasks and be able to make sure that it works. If there's anything that's already existing, it sees that and then it does a merge. So you get to approve the merge of the existing to-do item with the updated one. That's an important thing for me, as I don't want AI just overwriting stuff that I've maybe already been thinking and working on. So I wanted that opportunity to do the merge review. So make tasks from daily is the prompt. If you need to change anything with kind of how the prompts work, or some of the database properties, or things that it's maybe getting wrong, you can do that in here in the prompt, make tasks from daily. So one of the things that I want is just everything, the heading structure, right? Because on this daily notes one, these are H3s, and I want them to be H1s on the new page. So there's just some basic styling stuff in here so you can adjust the content. The database properties, it describes them in detail, what they're supposed to be done. Again, I said I've got blocked and canceled as additional database properties. This review section is important. You can really reinforce things that it needs to double check before it gets you to review them. And it is working through all of these changes. So it's drafting all of my tasks based on this to-do I had. So you can see we've got a directory for each one of the tasks, and it is making a draft for what is going to be in that. This is what it will look like once it's in Notion. So one of the things it has to do as part of its to-dos is check for existing tasks by name. So if it has any, it's going to fetch them and download them as a Notion.markdown so that you can merge the draft and Notion versions into a review.markdown and make it easy for us humans that are the ones that are going to be doing this work to understand if there's conflicts between the existing Notion version and the one that we're going to be shoving up there. So it's just running all of these searches. These are all going to come back empty because my to-do task list is empty. Since there was nothing to merge, the draft just goes straight to review. So you can see these are all the same. And it's going to give you the opportunity now to update any of these if you need to. I don't need to update anything, so I'm just going to say yes. So I'm sitting here watching this because I'm recording this and going to be demonstrating it. When I'm doing this normally, I am working on other things, checking Slack messages, emails, maybe writing some code, and I get these helpful, dings when it's ready for me to do stuff. So it's now waiting for me to say yes, So I'm going to say yes. You can see that I've got options baked in. So yes, apply, create all pages, no to pause, lets you review and edit. Quit aborts, just drops out of the whole workflow and stops trying to do things. So I'm just going to say yes. Hooray. So we've got all of these to-do items that were just added automatically through this workflow. And there should be 3, 6, 9, 12, it was at 13. Cool. There's all 13 of them, and it's done. So it paid attention. It knew that take ref measurements was already done. We're recording demo notes. We're batching the slat holders. It didn't get the due date for this. That's annoying. Don't know why it didn't get that. Some things you can do on here as well is sort by priority level. I also like to show the priority level. Hey, so this was the flow state demo. Showed you everything from recording to the cursor workflow. I don't think there's anything else that I need to update immediately in here. And you can see in my archive, I now have all of the tasks, the draft, the review. I just had to update this one Notion config. When you set this up for the first time yourself, you'll need to go into the cursor settings and the Notion settings and link their MCP tools. Some neat things you can see on the daily notes now is all of these to-do tasks are here as well. And yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this. If you did, I'm going to be teaching a workshop on how to use flow state. So if you like this and you want to know more about it, you want to ask questions, you want to kind of figure out how you can do more AI workflow stuff yourself, get in touch. You can go to crescentwrenchstudio.com and learn more about my studio and kind of how I do and make things. You can get in touch with me there if you want to schedule some time. I do consulting work, and I will be more than happy to help you understand how AI can help you accelerate your own workflows. And if I can help you with anything that you're trying to get built, all the better. Thanks, and enjoy flow state.